Hi, I'm Peter Matthews with Firehouse.com. We're here at Firehouse World in San Diego on day 2. Our reporter Ed Ballum is going to review some of the programs he attended today, including the San Bruno fire and explosion that happened this past fall, and also the Station 16 fire where a firefighter was killed at a wildfire. Today on the show floor, we had the Hot Box featuring Ron Moore and John Salka. John Salka showed a program, Fireground Responsibility, reviewing a line-of-duty death, the lessons that were learned, and he shared his experiences on how to prevent a similar incident. Ron Moore looked at advanced structural steel and how firefighters are facing extrication challenges every time they roll out the door on new vehicles.
Hi, this is Ed Ballum from Firehouse. Today we had a couple of great seminars for trainees here today, and one was on the Station 16 fire where 2 firefighters were killed in a flashover. We had Rob Morales from the LA Fire Department speaking of the first-hand knowledge he had of that fire and how it felt to lose 2 of his colleagues in that fire. We also had a presentation on the San Bruno explosion, gas explosion, the 30-inch main, and the firefighters that were there to correct that situation and the challenges they had. Quite dynamic speeches by all the parties involved. A lot of good information was shared here in San Diego today. And with us this afternoon is John Sullivan. He's Deputy Chief of Operations for the Worcester, Massachusetts Fire Department. He just finished up a program on rational aggressiveness, and I'm going to ask the Chief what that topic was all about.
The concept of rational aggressiveness stemmed out of a conversation that I had with a friend of mine from Colorado, and he asked me, are we losing our edge in the fire service? Are we training firefighters to be so safety conscious that they've lost their aggressive nature? And he was concerned that we as firefighters might not be quite the same as we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I thought about it for a little while and got back to him, and I said, you know what, I hope not. I hope we're not. We still need to stay aggressive, but we got to do it smarter. And so I came up with a concept of rational aggressiveness, is that basically as firefighters we need to stay on top of our game and be vigilant as to what it is that we do. Putting an incipient stage fire out with an aggressive interior attack is still the best offense that we can possibly do to save property and lives. But we got to do it smarter based on some of the things that we know today to be different than they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. The lightweight building construction materials, the fuel packages, the resources are depleted. We're not running in there with 4- and 5-man companies anymore. It's 3-man companies, and so it's just being smarter while staying on top of our game in terms of doing the things that we know and love to do, and that's to get in there and fight the battle.
That's right, and you still stress safety. I mean, we have to use your head.
Right.
You have to go in there and do the job, but always be safe.
Absolutely. We're trying to bridge that gap between what is the culture of safety that we've developed over the last 10 or 15 years, which is vitally important to save lives and to keep our firefighters, from probably going too far sometimes with the encapsulation and all of the things we talked about, but also doing it safe, but doing it smart, and that's the key to it. But also maintaining that edge. If we don't have firefighters who are willing to go into harm's way, then we don't have the competitive advantage over the next person who might do our job for us.
Right. We still have to fight the fire. We still have to make the rescues. We still have to go
Absolutely. Those things don't change. Our basic principles of life safety, property conservation, incident stabilization, those don't change. How we go about doing it, that's what we need to change, because the enemy is a little different today with all of the the points that I had made earlier. So.
Yeah, very true. Okay, Chief, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ed.
All right, thank you.